So the official Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion looks have arrived for season 17. I mean, we're kind of 4 days later into this, so we've already seen these looks thanks to I'm assuming it was an accidental post from Bravo TV, but it had been up for like an hour. So my thought was, oh, this is official. It was on their YouTube page. 4 days later, we get these looks. All right. And to be honest with you, they did not disappoint. Okay. So remember when I first did these reunion looks, we had to do them with the ladies sitting down. Okay. I mean, they were seated. So, it was what it was. I mean, we kind of had to rock with what we had to rock with. And these looks now give us a lot more intel as to what it actually is that they were going for. So I'm going to go through the looks, but what I want to do is first, as I do that, I should have had this picked up earlier. We're going to go through the looks one by one. And we're also going to give you the inspiration behind some of these looks as well, so that you can get a real understanding of what each of the ladies were going for, because I think that that's super important. And then we'll determine whether or not they actually accomplished their mission. Okay. Because we are the arbiters of fashion. Okay. Y'all know we do this every single year, so this ain't no surprise. Everything that we say here is just in the spirit of having our own little bit of fashion police. If you've been following this channel for a long time, you already know that I'm always been interested in fashion, so this is nothing new for us. Okay. Okay, so let's dive right on in. All right, we're gonna start with Angela. Now, Angela's look, this is what they were going for. All right. This is what they, stick around because I have some season 18 tea for you after this. So if you have not heard about what's going on for season 18, stick around. We got a little bit of information. Okay. All right. So let's go with Angela. All right, so Angela says that they were going for a modern twist on. Before I get to that, Bravo titled these looks. Okay, they were. Okay, so it says that they embraced a Scotland-inspired theme with metallic fabrics, structural silhouettes, feathers, pearls, and dramatic couture. Details designed to deliver old Hollywood glamour with edgy modern twists. Okay, so we need to use that as our focal point, because now that we know that, some of these looks make a lot more sense, right? And make sure when you guys come into the room, make sure you like this video. Okay, smash the like button wherever you may find this video. Smash it, smack it up, flip it, rub it down, because we works hard. Okay, all right. And someone has on an estimated $750,000 worth of jewelry. But what's going to be interesting is you're not going to see it. Walk with me. Okay. First things first. Let's go. Angela. So they were going for a modern twist on old Hollywood glamour. She says that we wanted the look to be edgy, but still classy, timeless, and unique. We wanted movement of the dress to look like liquid gold cascading over the body. Okay, so for me, Angela accomplishes the mission here. I'm not even going to hold y'all. She accomplishes the mission. I can see the vision for the old Hollywood glamour. I think you can really get that feeling, especially with the hair. Now that I kind of understand that, the hair, the gold, the dress. What I like about Angela is overall, I feel like Angela has her own style. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is Angela never really does too much. She never really does too much with her styling. And I like that. I like that for her. I like that for us. I feel like it actually always works. Because I mean, she's so tall and statuesque, she could do more. But every look that she gives, from her confessionals to her, the Watch What Happens Live, she played around with the Knicks a little bit for that last appearance. But for the most part, even if you look at her confessionals, they kind of even resemble this gown. So her look feels familiar, but that is because it is still Angela's personal style, or at least whoever is styling her. They typically they do good work. Okay, they do good work. So shout out to Angela and her team. Do they say who it is? The stylist is Tim B. Okay. All right. I like this look for Angela. We're gonna rate our top three again. We did it the first time, and Angela landed in our top three this past Sunday. But will she land in the top three today? I think she will. She does for me. I'm gonna go ahead and spoiler alert. She does for me. She does it. This look, it gives. Okay. So with that being said, now let's take a better look at K. Michelle. Okay. So knowing what we know now, let me go into my files for K. Michelle. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, so let's go into the files. Now, K. Michelle told Bravo Insider backstage. No, let me tell you my thoughts, and then I'm going to tell you what I read. Okay? I think that's much more interesting. My thought was, oh, K. Michelle is giving Poison Ivy vibes. If you guys know who Poison Ivy is, she is a DC Comics villain, okay? Villainess. And the colors that she wears represents the plant Poison Ivy, right? But her hair is generally a bold red color, okay? That is typically how the character is portrayed, with a bold red color, and she's wearing a very green sort of bodysuits or costume. This was the vibe that I thought that K. Michelle was going to go for. Somebody asked, can I make the picture bigger? I mean, Lord, how much more bigger can I make it? Okay, so here's the thing. I like this look now that I see it. Okay, I like this look standing up. I like this look in the stance that she has. I like this look when I thought she was going for Poison Ivy. Here's what she was going for, okay? K. Michelle told Bravo Insider backstage that she was giving sexy. She says, my signature is red hair and I wanted a deep, rich type of red. I like that because, again, that does fit the K. Michelle aesthetic. And I like when people understand their own center, their own core, their own personal style. She says, I wanted a very clean face and my dress is just giving sexy. It's giving boob. It's giving a little bit of metallic. I'm here. It's very simple but classic detail gown. The way K. Michelle describes this gown is the way I feel that she is attempting to portray herself on this season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I feel like there's a little bit of, tick, tick, boom that K. Michelle has that, listen, a lot of people have it. We all have it somewhere deep inside of us. But I feel like she is making a concerted effort to be a bit more demure, right? To portray a bit more demure. And I get it because she has an album to promote. So let's go over that. She was on the... Here we go. My apologies for giving y'all some previews. But she was on Kelly and Mark today. And she sang her new single, Jesus and Whiskey. Okay? Jesus and Whiskey. Not to be confused with Jesus Take the Wheel. because Jesus and the wheel and the whiskey probably ain't going to work. So she's promoting Jesus and whiskey. Now that's the title of the new single and the title of the new album out October 16th. Let's talk about why the timing of this is fortuitous. Okay. So K Michelle releases this new single right before the finale of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay. And as such, now she's doing the press rounds for this new single right before the finale, for which it is her big single release or performance or something of that nature. Okay. So K Michelle is doing that, which is very, very smart, right? That's what she should be doing. But I kind of feel like K Michelle wants to sort of reel it all in, because I feel like K Michelle also wants to appeal to the masses, especially now that she is promoting this new country album. You understand what I'm saying, right? Which again, I get it. Totally smart marketing. I totally get it. But I also feel like we are being gypped just a little bit, because I feel like the K Michelle that we all have been anticipating showing up on our screens has refused to show up continuously throughout the season. That's just my opinion on it. And I said what I said, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. So that's why I feel like when she says I'm just giving sexy, it's giving simple but classic detailed. Girl, I don't want that. Now, you look great, and I'm happy for the new album. I love K Michelle and her music, but I just want some real raw K Michelle. Okay. I don't mind if you flip a table or a little something. You know what I'm saying? Give me something to talk about that I understand. Okay. Back to what I was saying. Well, listen, we got to be honest today, y'all. All right. So let's go with Porsha next. Okay. So let's start at the beginning. I told y'all the other day, I said this was my favorite look. And by golly, it is my favorite. Okay. I generally do not like the color green. Okay. Although I get it, I generally don't like it. But this I like. Now I got to be honest with y'all. Porsha stylistically does not miss. Okay. Let's talk about what she was going for. Porsha admitted to Bravo Insider backstage that her reunion look took her by surprise. She says, my team, we all came together separately. The gown, my stylist and I were like mad scientists in the lab, and we looked at so many dresses, and literally the dress that I have is the first dress we sent each other, the first freaking dress. And I think each reunion I have a different vision, which I can really tell. You can really see that there is some thought put into this. She says, this one, I was just like, I just want to go clean. And we ended up going the complete opposite of clean. This is glamour overload. I think I wanted to give quintessential housewife glamour, and I wanted to bring that back. Now, I want to also let you guys know that for most of these photos, I am purposely not showing you the Bravo TV or Bravo Daily Dish editions of these photographs, because I just don't always feel like they post the best photos of the bunch. And I always feel sorry for the photographer, because I always feel like, my God, what are you guys doing to this photographer's work? Like, I mean, the photographer is probably photographing back there, but I have to rely on the released images from the cast members in order to get a very, very good look at exactly what each woman was supposed to be doing. Okay. So I don't know what happens between the time the photographer takes the photo and by the time it gets posted, but the images be so blurry. I'm just like, what am I looking at right now? Like it's given like a full on Monet. It's like a lot of things going on, and I can't really always tell what is happening. So with this, again, this is also why I wanted to wait a little bit so what we can get most of these images out so we can actually see them for ourselves. This, yes, it's all yes. All dressed in yes, 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 yes. Okay? Yes. Also, yes. Also, Also very much a yes. Also very much a yes. Again, these were my top 3 the other day. Okay. Ain't much changed. Ain't much change. She too is all dressed in yes. All right. She too. Now we have to shout out that good Paris cheer for this one. I would have thought. Well, there's another Paris cheer look too, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Okay. Now this, yeah. Let's talk about the inspiration for Drew Sidora. Okay. So the inspiration for this look was she says she's giving Glenda from Wicked, but the nails are giving a little alpha buzz. So I don't know who you're gonna get. We're gonna see. I don't see Glenda from the Wicked, but okay. Drew's team described the inspiration for her look, which included ostrich feathers and liquid sequins. Sharing an email to Bravo Insider, we wanted to go with the theme of actress in Hollywood for Drew, using her time in Hollywood to show a softer, more chic and powerful, mature, sexy woman, giving Jessica Rabbit meets Atlanta. Okay, so I don't know if they hit the inspirational note per se for me, but I like the overall look, if that makes any sense. Okay, I like the overall look. And here we're gonna see it in a bit more detail. All right, it's simple. It's black. I mean, she's given a lot of hair. I like it. It's very, very clean. It's a look that we haven't really seen from Drew in terms of like the hair. I just feel like they got it all right. And you know, sometimes y'all, less is more. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes less is more. And when you're doing black, it's a little bit of a risk because sometimes it could be hard to tell exactly what it is that the person is wearing. But because of the way that the dress is constructed, I can totally see what's going on here. And because it's liquid, it accentuates her shape and it gives her sparkle. The hair is a perfect contrast for it, goes great with the skin. Everything just works right here for me for her. Even the jewelry. I mean, I feel like it's just boom, 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 pow. Love it. Like it. Give me more of it. Okay, so now I have a totally different thought about this look than I did when I first saw it. Well, somewhat. Okay. Now, see, this is why you have to wait until you see the full image from the person and what they were going for. When I look at this now, and I can sort of see a bit more of what was supposed to be happening, this material is absolutely fantastic. Okay. The material is fantastic. What we have to work with here is fantastic. The color combination against her skin, fantastic. Okay. But I'm gonna tell you where I feel like we go wrong. I'm gonna tell you where I feel like we go wrong, and you guys tell me what you think. Okay. All right. So it says this look embodies modern royalty, bold, powerful, and unapologetically glamorous. I wanted something that felt regal from every angle. Okay. Here's I looking at this in this way. I love it. I see it. I see the vision a lot better now. Um, Still not as much a fan of the hair, but I'm going to tell you why in 1 second. All right, so when you look at this overall view from here, for me, this dress is spectacular. The problem is going to come as you, and look at this. Come on now. Look at it. It's only 2 problems for me. And I'm going to tell you what they are. Well, 1 problem. Now that I can see that a little bit differently. I don't know if this is some type of like sheer material right here at her. Right here, you see it. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all see it right there where the cutout is. the mid stomach like the upper stomach region, there's like a little bit of a line right there where I can't tell if that's the material or if that's something that's supposed to like a clasp for the two halves of the dress. That bothers me a little bit. I get why it's there. But it's a little bit distracting. Something about it is just bothersome to me. And I know I'm being picky, but the other thing about it is this little collar thing right here. When she's sitting down, and we saw this the other day, when she's sitting down, that looks like it is swallowing her. It looks like Alice is going down, down, down into Wonderland. When you see the reunion, you'll see what I'm saying. Okay. Standing up, it looks fantastic. But sitting down, because of the way the collar is, and I think that the way that the hair, it's like a small little bun. For some reason, it looks like it's devouring her when she's sitting down. That it's just when she's sitting down. Okay. When she's standing up, it gives regal. But when she's sitting down, it does feel like it's swallowing her. So that's the only part that I don't really like. Yeah, it looks much bigger when she's sitting down. And I only know that because we saw the preview and it just looked like she was shrinking into the collar. And that's unfortunate, right? That's unfortunate. All right. And these are practical things. Practical things that sometimes you can't account for when you're making a gown, but you've also got to sit down in the gown after the gown is made so we can see what it's going to look like. Okay? We got to see that. Okay. Here is the $750,000 look. Now, what I want you guys to notice is, and I'm not going to pull it up because I have to go all the way down into their website. Here, you will see Phaedra wearing $750,000 worth of jewels, or close to it. But what I noticed is on Bravo TV's Daily Dish site, they have either cropped out the photo, like cropped out the necklaces, because the necklaces are not present, at least from what I could see in the photo, as you can see here. I don't know if you guys can see it. If you can see that, you will see it's no necklaces right there. So what's the point in advertising that there's $750,000 worth of necklaces and jewelry on if she's not going to have it on during the actual program? I digress. I'm being picky. These are little things that I notice when I'm like looking at these things and I'm analyzing. So let me be picky because that's just what I'm doing. But otherwise, now that I can see this a bit better, do I like it more? I don't dislike it. I like it more with the jewelry. I think personally, the jewelry actually adds an unexpected element to me. The dress itself, maybe it is because of the color that I don't really feel like it really excites me that much. But I like what she's doing in these photographs, if that makes any sense. I'm paying more attention to her face, the hair, and the jewelry than I am the dress. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Okay, so also too, you see right here, and I'm again being picky, right here, I don't know if you guys can see my arrow, right here, there is no line. Where we saw with Shamia, there was a line, and there could be a line there that exists, but they photoshopped it out if there was a line right here. Okay, it's very smooth right there. Again, I'm being picky, but these are little details that either I'm going to pick up, somebody else is going to pick up, the camera's going to pick up. And so we have to really be aware of that. I think when we're doing the nude, I don't know if they call it nude illusion or the sheer or whatever they call it, but you got to be aware of that. She's doing fantastic here. She's doing fantastic work. I mean, it's a shame that I feel like the dress. I mean, the dress goes with everything she's doing. And the dress is not wearing her. She's definitely wearing it. I like it. I like it. Is it my favorite? Mm-mm. But I like it. It's smooth. You know what I'm saying? It's smooth. It goes down easy. Kelly. I think I was watching Dallas the Stylist, and he talked about her looking like she's got some Saturn rings or something around her. Like, what is there's a solar system going on around her. Here's the thing about this look with me for Kelly, and it is emblematic of a lot of the issues that I think we often see with Kelly, is that for her to be so diminutive, which is not a bad thing, she's a petite woman. It always looks like she's wearing a solar system, right? And that's maybe intentional at this point, because if the accessories are Chanel, and we know that Chanel is famous for their pearls and their pearl looks, so I can get it. I can get into that. The hair is absolutely giving me what I need, but the dress is it feels harsh or severe. And then with the gloves, it's a lot. It's a lot for me to process. Um, this will be a situation. Here's the back. Mm, mm. It's even a lot going on there. It's like, how do you sit down? I'd be worried I was going to ruin something in the back. I don't know. It's just beyond me a little bit, you know? It's just beyond me. And I think that she could get away with doing a lot less and still be as fierce as she wants to be. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, this dress doesn't take away from that, but it does distract me. And I think that's a problem. I'm always distracted by everything else around her. So it does always feel like she's wearing an entire solar system. Like, there are, like, all the planets are present here. Okay. Every planet is present and accounted for, and actually even some that have gone undiscovered. That's what it looks like is happening here. Again, face, boom. Hair, boom. But the dress per se, we could simplify this a little bit. That's just me. Okay. Now, in order for us to really get into this look, we must first see this. Okay? We must see this first, and then we must see that. Shout out to our friends over at MrHousewives. And I'm going to tell you why this makes a difference. It makes a difference. Okay. If I were to only rely on BravoTV.com, okay, and the Daily Dish, I love y'all. Thank you for giving us so much content. If I were to rely solely on them, I would not understand what was happening here. Okay, I'm going to let you guys know that right now. I would not understand it. I would be like, where? I thought Pinky was singing in the mass choir, but she herself is giving director of the choir. Okay. When the choir director has stepped out of the choir and they are leading the song because they have to lead this particular song, y'all seen it happen before. That is what this is given. But we've got to talk about it. Okay. Because things are not what they seem. But this is also part of a problem, right? Which we will discuss. Now, Cynthia says that her inspiration was a trader's vibe, a little dark, mysterious, and glamorous as a fun nod to our cast trip to Scotland. I also wanted to honor my own fashion journey. It felt like the perfect full circle moment to wear Zhang Toy, a legendary New York couture designer I modeled for during the height of my runway career. To be able to come back years later and wear one of his creations on the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion was really special. She noted that instead of doing the traditional reunion gown, she and her team went in a different direction with a dramatic couture cape and more editorial silhouette. The hand embroidered crystal detailing was inspired by the New York skyline, which also pays tribute to the city where my modeling career began. The whole look felt timeless, high fashion, and a little unexpected, which is exactly what I wanted. Okay, so this is the photo that they had posted on the Bravo Daily Dish. Again, if left to this, I would be a little confused. Okay, I would be a little confused. I might be confused when she is seated at the reunion. Okay, because in essence, what this is a bodysuit underneath a very long capelet robe, capelet, I would say. So so we had to start here, okay? Because that was me and Confucius, all right. And then we go here, okay. Then we go here. So here, if I were to only see all this, I'm thinking, man, she looks amazing. I don't know what's going on down here, but I like how she looks right here. So then you can start to see what she was saying with the explanation. The problem is this requires a lot of explanation for the everyday audience and for the 3 weeks that we will see her sitting down. Okay. I gotta wonder how she's gonna place this when they're actually sitting down at the reunion. Because what you will see here is she looks great again, but now you can start to see the elements, right? When we now look at this, I'm thinking to myself, in my opinion, this was more of a fashion moment. That the average person will probably understand a bit more when they see it in motion, when they see it on the street, when they see it on the runway, when they see it in an editorial print style format or moment. Okay. But in terms of what they showed you, you would not get it. Okay. And that's problematic a little bit for these types of events. Look at, I mean, it's definitely giving unexpected vibes right here. And I almost wish that this were just something that went around the waist and flowed down beyond. And I feel like that probably would have translated a little bit better. So like what you see right here is all of, this, which is the bodysuit, which is great. Imagine if that had been sort of tied around the waist, right? And maybe that was either the dress, the bottom half of the dress, or it went around the bodysuit. I just think that probably would have translated a little bit better. I mean, right here, again, it's given everything. She knows what to do. She knows how to sell it. I mean, this is definitely, it's given, look at, I mean, the design is definitely a cityscape, which we get. I just don't know. And even right here, you could kind of look at it and think she's about to go, and direct the choir. But when you get it, when you understand it, you're like, oh, okay, I see what they were doing here. And I think it's amazing that she wanted to do this homage to her early modeling career. I see what the vision was. I just don't know if this was like the best event for it. Um, but you guys, you be the judge in the comments because I feel like, you will be, and you will let a brother know. Okay. Um, this was, I just don't know if it was going to be the best look for the reunion for me. Um, and then there was Pinky. So Pinky posted this. I mean, she looks amazing. I'm not, listen, everybody in their face, they look good. Okay. Faces, and hair and hers all look good. It's just, and I got to go back to Mr. Housewives for this. So you can see the full breadth of the photo. You know, I feel like this is maybe something that we would have seen like on a Dynasty episode way back in the day. So I get the feeling behind it. And if she is indeed, which I believe she could be, I believe she could be the one who is expecting. And I'm basing this more or less on her Instagram. Her Instagram to me, because she has not been really, if you look at her Instagram and the way she's been posting, you will see that you really don't see a lot of her presently. Okay. So go to her Instagram and you'll understand what I'm saying. And if she were to be that person, this would definitely be the perfect ensemble outfit, and even the way she's standing, to sort of maybe conceal that just a little bit until she wanted to express it. It's not my favorite. Do I understand maybe the rationale? I do. Um, that's right. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Gladys Knight. That's what it reminds me of. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it feels matronly, you know. Um. Hmm. So, yeah. So again, my tops are gonna be she, she, and still she. Um, yeah, those are, because I don't, here's the thing. I don't need a document to understand what they were doing. It's just simply stated. Okay. It's just simply stated for all three of these. And I love that. Now, let's get to the tea. All right. For those of you guys that stuck around, let's dive in. So, just a little bit of tea, just a little bit to whet our appetites for season 18. I would give you a spoiler alert, but they've not really spoiled much here. What we can tell you is that apparently, according to this exclusive from the Jasmine brand, the Real Housewives of Atlanta next season contracts have hit the inboxes, and the future of cast members is up in the air. So they say sources tell us sometime this week, those whom production wants to return were sent contract renewals, kicking off the process of officially signing on the dotted line for another year. Season 17 introduced two new cast members who we know were Pinky Cole and K. Michelle. They asked the question, who do you think will be back next season? So let's talk speculation. Okay. I'm going to guess, if I had to guess who would be back next season, my first guess is going to be K. Michelle. The reason why is K. Michelle is releasing her album on October 16th. The date seems awfully interesting to me, as it would fall right in line with either the tail end of season 18's filming or somewhere thereabouts. I would imagine that they will probably go into filming probably in like maybe mid-August. No, maybe late August, early September. So it could be mid-season, I would imagine. Perfect time to release an album. makes sense to me. The single just came out right ahead of the reunion. Everybody's going to be talking about her, and we'll be talking about her up until. So I can imagine, I can definitely see that being the case. I can see Angela for sure, because Andy has already said she ain't going nowhere. I can see obviously Porsha, because she's like the face of the show. I can definitely see Shamia. She makes sense because week after week, whether you liked her or you didn't, everybody was talking about her. Okay. And if you all, and me, myself included, if we're talking about this person every week, y'all, guess what? 9 times out of 10, because she has so much going on, okay, she will likely be back. All right. That's my guess. I would say it's a safe bet to say Cynthia's coming back. I would think that this would be the perfect time for Pinky to come back if she is expecting. They love a good pregnancy storyline. I think they like Phaedra too much. I think they like her too much. Kelly's been on. She's been a talk of a town a little bit too this past week. The person I might find to be maybe in danger could be Drew, but it would only be because I think she's had limited filming, or they've shown her in such limited capacities that I almost feel like, I don't know. I mean, and who knows? I mean, with what happens with K Michelle and Drew this week, and the way that K Michelle has been literally, I mean, going hard at Drew, I could definitely see them bringing everybody back. I could see them bringing everybody back. But I mean, I don't know, because I do think that there were some people who just brought more than others did. And I feel like some people kind of coasted. And it could be that some people maybe didn't coast. Maybe they just didn't show their stories. So, you've got 8 women to focus on. So everybody's not going to get the fair share of their piece of the pie, of the pie. It's just unfortunate. It is completely unfortunate. So, in honor of the green, I felt like I would wear green. Fun fact: this Lord, they're gonna forget. They're gonna like literally hurt me. But the company that made this shirt, they had me walk in their show for New York Fashion Week back in 2018. Okay, that was my first time walking in New York Fashion Week. I ain't even think that. I mean, I thought those days were over for me. But so, shout out to them. I will put the link in the description for the name of the company, because I cannot recall it right at the time at this moment. But I figured I would wear it because, I mean, they supplied me with clothes when I was working in news. I disagree that Kelly had nothing going on. Somebody said she. The thing about Kelly that she did have going on, I felt like she, just like Pinky, showed a lot of what was going on in her business. I mean, it's very rare that you get somebody going to see a financial planner, because their finances are like in the gutter. Like, I mean, I thought that was pretty brave of her. everything that came out in the news, she talked about it. They called her into the room. She talked about it. She was forthcoming with it. Um, last season she had a whole bunch of events during the season. I just feel like Kelly works. Now, if you don't like her, that's one thing. But I can't say that you can't say she has not had anything going on. She's been in some major altercations with Porsha. Like, she's had some stuff go on. So I can't, it would be different if I felt like she really didn't have anything. But I do feel like she is going through definitely a financial struggle. But so is Pinky. And I felt like she showed as much of her life as she could. It's unfortunate for her, for both Drew and Kelly, that because of their divorce situations, there's probably a lot that they can't show. And I think that is a handicap for both of them. Not really a handicap per se, but I think we're missing that element of like being able, like, not that a lot of y'all, listen, I know a lot of times we watch these shows, people don't really want to see the kids. They really don't. But that is a big part of the draw for the network, I think, to be able to show those kids and to be able to show those relationships, which is why I think you see so many of these stars on these shows wanting so desperately to showcase relationships or showcase who they're talking to, because I do think that there is a little bit of pressure there to show some type of relationship. I mean, relationship shows are like relationships are the core of a lot of these shows, whether people like it or not. So I have to disagree with that point. She's giving old K Michelle energy that some of us wanted from K, as far as the loud and fun size nature. I do agree with that. And I feel like she's not afraid to speak her mind. And I think you need that on this show. Like, Porsha, to me, like, some of you guys hate the fact that, some of these women might, have it's really been only Shamia and Kelly this season. Last season, it was Drew, right? But you gotta give your stars also something to do. You do. If you got to give them something to do, somebody to bounce off with. That's how we discovered the magic of Nene, because she had people to play with. And I think some of y'all lose that when y'all watch these shows, because you are just so fascinated or so enamored with your favorite person, whomever it may be, that you forget the fun that it can be when you see some of these back and forths. Now, we don't like it when it gets too dark, right? We don't like it when it gets like, there's a space where it gets to, and it's like, okay, this went too far. But you still got to have somebody that person can act opposite against. If you've ever seen Dynasty, which I know most of y'all probably, if you are in this chat, you probably know what Dynasty is. One of the reasons why people liked Alexis Carrington, or I forget all of their names. I mean, I'm talking about Dynasty, I'm forgetting names, but I'm live, so I can do that. Anyway, the point is, we remember some of those altercations because they were so fun to watch, right? They were so fun to watch. So if you don't have that on the show and there's nobody there to challenge your favorite person, it's sometimes you don't necessarily get the full breadth of your favorite person. And I feel like you should want that. No. No more mama drama. Alexis and Dominique, yes. Those combative relationships, you want to be able to see that was why we love Nene and Cam, because they would break up and make up and break up and make up, and we lived for that relationship, that back and forth. And I feel like some of y'all lose that feeling of like why we started watching these shows in the first place. Or it could be some of y'all, some of y'all might just be new. and don't really know how the OGs get down. Because if you did, you wouldn't be crying about they need to fire this person every week. Every week. They need to go. They need to go. What? We was never saying that back in 2008. When we were starting to watch these shows, we never said that. We never said that. Nobody was ever talking about Kim or Nene needed to be fired. Well, I mean, they might have been saying it, but we didn't say it. We weren't online saying it every week. Nene and Sheree. That's it. Exactly. All right. And we're speaking in terms of the reality TV back and forth. Okay. Again, not when it gets, there's a way that this can work. And it's like we're watching like a tennis match. That's what we want to feel like. And we want that nostalgia of like, that's why when Pinky and Angela went at it, that's why everybody was worked up, because it felt like watching old school Real Housewives of Atlanta. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Like, I do wish some of y'all would chill with that. Like, they need to let this be their last season. Did you just start watching these shows? Like, that'd be like my first clue sometimes. You just started watching this. You're new here. You're a new student. Okay. I got it. It explains a lot. Okay. Because you want some immediate relief from somebody that annoys you. But without somebody that annoys you on the show, like sometimes you don't have a show. You do realize that, right? Or no? You do realize that every single TV show that you watch typically has a protagonist and an antagonist. And the point of watching the show is that either like there's some type of conflict and then there's usually resolution. That is why we watch every single show. That's why we watch any movie. That's why we read any book. 9 times out of 10, if you're reading fiction. Okay? So chill. Okay. Anywho, with that being said, y'all, I have given you the best that I got, baby. I have. Okay. And I've got no more to give. My voice is gone. And so with that being said, it's time for my daily walk. Thank you guys for tuning in. I got something really cool coming soon. So I'll be out for those of you guys who have been either asking for a community to work, to build your content. I'm working on that. So stand by. I'll be moving slow, but it's summertime. Give me a break. All right. With that being said, I'll catch you in the next video.